Hello, welcome and welcome back to my channel. Today I would love to talk about limerence and parasocial relationships, specifically because I guess there's a little confession that I want to make about a limerent parasocial relationship that I've had for the last couple of years. And I guess this has kind of been a deep dive into my psyche. I guess unfortunately, you're knowing all my secrets now. I'm not sure if that's a great thing, but here I am. I'm facing my fears. That's what this channel's about. So I'm gonna get into it today. And I hope you stick around, get ambered. So the first question is, what is limerence? And I think that it's kind of important to go into it from a definition perspective. It is, it has been recently in the zeitgeist of our time um, because I think a lot of people are deep diving into, like I've said before, different types of psyches. And someone that is prone to limerence a lot of times will lend towards, more behaviors that are out of the norm, or if they act on it and don't get help, then they will, a lot of times it'll lead to stalking and things like that. So I think it's good to say what it is specifically and how we get there.
I'm going to let you all pause and read the official definition, but the TLDR about limerence is that it is basically an obsession or fixation on another person, usually romantic, and it, unlike love or lust, it has a nature of being involuntary, so it kind of feels like it seizes you almost and it takes over your life in a frustrating way. And now parasocial relationship usually involve a fan and a celebrity or a public figure, and the difference between previous parasocial relationships is that it used to be very clearly not a relationship. It used to be a fan who idolized a celebrity and decided that they were in some fantasy relationship, but they never had any interaction. Whereas now, in the modern world, we have things like live streams where you can actually talk and connect with someone, and then you can get kind of confused as to whether you're in a relationship or not. And that's kind of where I'm at.
So why is it relevant today, I guess? So it is relevant because I have OCD, and it has I have a tendency to be limerent on not just people but things. I've got a lot of um, ideas that stick around in my head longer than they would for normal people. I call them my earworms. Like, example, you have a song stuck in your head. I get thoughts stuck in my head sometimes. I have been working with therapists and working with people to try to manage the symptoms, but that's just kind of been part of my reality for a long time. And so I can speak on this as a specific thing. So in the last couple years, I've said before that I was in a very long relationship. I haven't gotten into another relationship since then, and it's been 9 going on 10 years since then. And the major reason for that is because when I got out of my last relationship, I was 27. I basically had not been single since I was 17. I didn't know what I was doing, and I had a tendency to get a lot of my information from media and from books and things like that. I didn't know how guys were. I didn't know how women were. I didn't understand really anything because I was essentially still stuck as a 27-year-old with an 18-year-old mind. I didn't know how the world worked. and I was figuring it out in the deep end at 27 when a lot of people have already gone through their first marriages. So it was a really rough time dating. And I had a tendency to just obsess. And I haven't done, I don't want to say that I've done anything that would put me in like a yandere category, for example. Yandere, if you don't know, is a Japanese um, trope where the female pursuer is crazy. Is the short answer. She gets violent, and I don't know. For some reason, that's attractive. I guess because anime they can make anything attractive. But anyway, I bring this up because that is the type of relationship. I say relationship very loosely because a lot of times in limerence, when limerence occurs, it is not a relationship. There's no two ways about it. It's usually one sided. And in this case, in my case, I have had a limerent relationship parasocially, a limerent situation, I'm going to call it parasocially, because I never fully connected with him on a personal level. So I don't see it as a relationship. I see it as kind of an obsession that I've had for a couple of years. But I wanted to confess because it's probably the craziest thing that I do, that I have done, I guess. And it's a little embarrassing, but I think I'm not the only one who has unhealthy obsessions like this. So I figured it might be helpful to someone. Anyway, I'm just gonna say who it is because he's kind of famous now, and he might see this, and I'll be embarrassed if he does, but oh well. I'm being brave now and just saying that there is a guy who does creepy stories, who reads creepy stories on YouTube, and he's never shown his face, which means I'm very crazy because I literally don't know what this man looks like. But I got into the whole, love is blind craze. I'm like, oh, well, if you could fall in love with someone you've never seen, then maybe, I my attraction is valid and whatever. It's silly, but I do have an attraction. I wish I could say had in the past. Honestly, if he DM'd me, I'd be like, it's so stupid. Oh my God, it's so stupid. But uh, anyway, his name's Joel from Let's Read, and I'm going to tag him below. So, confession time. Hi, I have a crush on you. I have to let me say my reasons, okay? So it's not the most crazy thing. It's a little crazy, but it's not the most crazy. My reasons were that I would basically just listen to his. I want to call it like a radio show almost. I listened to his live streams and I would comment from time to time. And he would read my comments and like say hi Amber and stuff, and I would feel special. And I gradually got attracted to him. I found out he used to be a nurse. He's my age. He lives in Pennsylvania, um, which I used to live over in Pennsylvania, Maryland area. And we have similar situations with our siblings. And I just was adding it all up and I was like, oh my gosh, like we're so compatible. Like, why isn't this happening? And so I kind of got fixated on it. And it became kind of a limerent case for a while. It hasn't been in the last couple years. I have been drawing back because just for my sanity, because I dating is not going well otherwise. Like I've been on all the apps and it's been one bad experience after another. So I think that's my biggest reason for being fixated on this fantasy with someone I've never met. But I just I just got into it, and I feel like parasocial relationships are kind of the most dangerous for that, because in the past it's like you could be obsessed with a celebrity and you could just be over the head, oh, head over heels with them. You would think that the, sun rose and fall on their butt, and you could just be obsessed with them in a very one-sided, obvious way. And then you could have a reality check and be like, okay, you're crazy. That's, let it go. It's never going to happen. You're never going to meet them. You're never going to actually have a relationship with them. And that's easier to accept, I think. But I think what was confusing to me is that I would talk to him. And that's what a parasocial relationship is. A parasocial relationship is almost one-sided, a little bit more one-sided than a normal relationship, but also less one-sided than a celebrity fan relationship, which again is not a relationship because the celebrity usually doesn't know the fan exists at all. But because we have access to technology, because we have things like live streams now we can actually talk to the people we're fans of. So then you could feel like you can make a personal connection with them. And that's honestly what I felt like. I was just kind of adding up all of the characteristics of me versus him. And I was just like, oh my gosh, we'd be so compatible. Like, my biggest thing was that he hasn't dated for almost as long as I haven't dated. And that's a big deal to me because I feel like the experience of being left behind and never having been married in my mid to late 30s, that's really hard for a lot of people to understand. A lot of people my age have, had either their first marriage, their first divorce, their first set of kids, all of that. They've had all of that already. And he has not, and I have not. And I thought, wow, like, this could be it, like, but I mean, the biggest thing against it, I said the pros before, the biggest cons against it is he lives in Pennsylvania and I live in California and I don't want to move. So probably not going to happen. He already said he doesn't want to do a distance relationship. Again, I'm adding up all of these things from weeks and weeks and months of talking and like remembering the details. But at the same time, like, I don't fully know that he knows I exist. I don't know if he knows what I look like. I mean, if I say it here and tag him, he's gonna know what I look like. So that's kind of my putting it to rest a little bit, being like, hey, I'm gonna embarrass myself in public. Um, Sorry for the weird attention. Um, Please reject me if you're not interested. If you aren't interested, DM me. I know that's crazy. That's crazy and silly, but it's also it's hard because I don't have it's hard because I'm a little embarrassed I don't have any other prospects. And that's not to guilt anyone to being with me. I don't have anything else to distract me in that way. And I've said before that a relationship is very important to me. I want to have a marriage and children, and I start getting really scared because I don't seem to know how to make how to meet good people that are male. I have a lot of really good women in my life, but I don't like women that way. And it's really hard to maintain the search when they say you're supposed to kiss a lot of frogs before you meet your prince, but they don't tell you that you can just end up covered in swamp water and warts. And my biggest fear is that one day there won't be a prince for me, I guess. My biggest fear is that there isn't somebody out there for me, or that might not be part of my path. And I'm most afraid of that. I think when people tell me things happen when you're not looking for it, I don't know what that means because I'm always looking and I don't know how to stop looking because if I stop looking, then it'll be my fault when it doesn't happen. That's what I have. That's the fear that compels me along. Recently, since I've started this channel, actually, I have really been zeroing in on self love and I've been really working on trying to focus in on myself and focus in on my sense of purpose and making my life worthwhile specifically because having a voice motivates me. So recently I have been able to kind of step back from the whole dating game and I have deleted all my dating apps. I have almost settled back into the feeling of waiting for my divine purpose, I guess. I'm going to lose a lot of people, I guess, talking about the religious aspect of it. But I did mention that I'm Jewish and I faith is very important to me because I've been on a spiritual journey for most of my life, but specifically for the time since I moved to California, I've really been seeking spiritual guidance and a spiritual presence in a spiritual life. And I feel like I have found that, but the biggest thing that's been stopping me, or but the biggest gap in my faith and my biggest struggle since I've moved here has been the fact that dating has not worked and that I have been trying because when I wasn't trying, there was a good 3, 4 years where I did not date at all and I didn't look and I didn't talk to people and I didn't have friends. I isolated, especially, during, we all know what happened 6 years ago. Oh my God, it's been 6 years. But I really leaned into the isolation that was encouraged at the time. And I took a lot of steps back from seeking a relationship. And so I thought, well, if a relationship's not happening, it's because it's not supposed to happen. And I can't be around people right now because of potential, spreading the disease that was going around. But now that I've actually stepped back into the stage, like stepped back in onto the apps and been going out there, I've been going to singles events, I've been going to speed dating. I have a couple of friends that are single for the first time in years. Which is very new to me. When I first moved here, everyone I knew was single. And then a week after I moved here, everyone had their forever partners. And I was like, whoa, like what happened in that week? Like I thought we were going to be single ladies together. And now none of you are single ladies. Like, what was there an event you went to just like meet all your partners? Like, did you, send away in a catalog? Oh my God, that's so old of me to say catalog. Did you online order your fiancés or whatever? But all of the people I knew when I first moved here have gotten married and had children, and I feel very left behind. But I have been more motivated than I ever have before. But saying that, I bring all this up because the whole issue with my faith, I've really struggled to maintain faith in God giving me a partner, or I've struggled with the idea that there is someone out there for me because I just can't be sure that it's necessary, or I can't be sure that it's going to happen to me this lifetime, and I can't be sure that it's going to be part of my life path. And I worry that it's not. And I also don't feel deserving of asking for it. Feel like I don't, I feel like I'm not worthy to be a partner. That rings false when I say it out loud, but I do struggle with asking God for that because I don't want to get something that's not meant for me. I want only what is meant for me, and I don't want to force it. And the last couple years, that's all I have been doing is trying to force it, trying to make my partner happen. And it hasn't been happening because it's not supposed to happen the way I was trying to make it. And eventually I have to become okay. I have to accept that maybe it's not for me, that maybe I'm supposed to be alone for the rest of my life. That's really hard at this critical juncture in my life because I still am able to have children and I want to. But if I'm not supposed to, then I won't, and it'll just be something I have to accept. But it's just been really hard to ask God for the solution to it because I just feel like I should wait. And I actually went to my rabbi about it. I asked him for a matchmaker, and he basically's like, "You're not ready. When you know, you know. When you know that you're ready, will come in here, and I will be able to tell you, yes, you're ready. You can do it." But I'm afraid that that day could never come. Saying it out loud makes it feel like I'm saying a lie. So that's a good thing because I do want children this lifetime and I do want a partner. And I feel like I would make a good partner now based on all the work that I've done. But I just have to trust God. And that's so scary because God just has so many things to do, like God is just in charge of everybody and I'm a grain of sand on the ocean. Why do I matter? Um I I know that I have to matter to myself before this can go forward and I'm not really sure how this became such a self-deprecating confession because I was planning on just focusing in on parasocial relationships and limerence, but it's obvious that the limerence was a byproduct of me trying to distract myself from the lack of control I feel over my life. Um, and I'd like to apologize to Joel from Let's Read. I know you didn't know any of this was happening. I'm sure I'm probably not the only one who's attracted to you like that. And calling you out like this is probably really weird, but I don't know. I just feel like I should as a confession um, because it is one of the weirdest things about me, I guess, that I could develop such an attraction to someone that I've never seen and that probably will never see. I mean, it would be sad. I would like to meet him. I do think that we would be compatible, but then again, we haven't had a full one-on-one conversation, so I don't have any basis to, I don't have anything to base that on, but it would be great in my mind um, if we could get to know each other. But I say all this to say that parasocial relationships are a lot more difficult and a lot weirder than kind of anything we've had to deal with in the past. I saw a video about I think it was Ashton Kutcher talking about a fan that came up to him and he's just like, "Oh yeah, when you were in that episode of that '70s show, blah blah blah." Like and he was describing it like they come up to me mid-sentence like we're friends and we just saw each other last night. And I kind of understand it. He said, I kind of understand it because they sit on their couch in their underwear watching me in their living room. And it's as if I'm in their living room with them. So they feel like they know me because they sit there and they listen to the conversations and they feel like they're part of my life. But I'm just playing a character. So when they meet me in real life, they just get really confused and they get distracted by the fact that there's a character on TV that they have intimacy with, and I play that person, but that's not me. And I I used to be freaked out by it, but I understand it now. I understand why they like that. And that's how I felt. Like when I developed this parasocial attraction, I was listening to him every night at work, or I was like as I would go about my tasks and just had background noise and I was just doing what I had to do at work. Or when I was trying to go to sleep, I would put him on and like he was really soothing to my cat. My cat really likes deep voices. So that was the other thing that like I was attracted him for. He really loves his cat and our cats are about the same age. Like, oh my God, I'm being silly. But anyway, that was the draw for me is the parasocial connection felt more real because, again, I don't have any other people I'm talking to or I'm attracted to, and all of the interactions I'm having day after day, date after date are really bad. And there is this person who's really sweet and nice and intelligent, and he's online. And if only, if I could only, like figure out how to get in touch with him, or if I could only answer if he answered his DMs, or if he could reach out to me, or I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking, but it's just this person I put on a pedestal because I don't know him. But because we have had interactions, it feels more real than if it was a character in a book or if I was watching TV and it was an actor. He is basically an actor, but I learned things about his real life. So I feel like, oh, well, if I was going to put my real life next to his real life, there would be so many similarities and we would be so compatible, but I don't know him and I don't know that we would have great conversation. I mean, I feel like when I contribute comments and I make jokes, he laughs. So I feel like that's something, but the question is, what is it? And it's also nothing. And it's something, but it's nothing. It's more than nothing, less than something, I'd like to say, because when he answers those messages, I'm essentially a character too. I'm essentially a couple of lines on the page. And maybe he recognizes my name, but that doesn't mean he's thinking of me as a potential partner like I am. Like I'm listening to his voice. So like at least I know him on a bit deeper level that he knows me. But it's still like ships passing in the night. It's still like we're sending messages in bottles across oceans. And it's it may be silly to other people. I'm sure it's silly. It's silly to me, I guess. I am a little embarrassed, what am I gonna do? But I just wanted to say that it's happened to me, and I know that like other people it's happened to. They've confessed to me like, oh yeah, like I like this guy on Instagram, or like I like this guy on TikTok, and they never say anything, or they obsess over him in secret and like I don't know. I don't know anyone who's done crazy things. I'm sure it's scary for people on the internet that other people might do scary things to them. A lot of the reasons why I was so hesitant to start this channel was because I was afraid of getting stalkers. I mean, I know as a woman, a lot of women can attest to this same experience. I've had plenty of people follow me and think that, they're in a relationship with me and like all they've done is seen my profile on a dating website or see my image on Facebook or something, and they just get completely obsessed with me. And I've had people come to my work and try to give me gifts and just really disturbing things so that like I wasn't even a public figure and this was happening to me. Like, and I'm not even like that special or magical. Like I don't post thirst traps. I don't I wasn't trying to attract that attention, but it happens anyway. And so that's why I wanted to kind of say it out loud, because I guess if definitely if the shoe was on the other foot, it would be very creepy. Like what I'm saying is probably super creepy to Joel. Like I'm sorry. I guess I do feel kind of creepy. But I also wanted to get it out there just so it can be out of my mind and into the ethos, and maybe like it can go one way or another. Like the dream is that he messages me. But I would also love it if he rejected me because then I would be like, oh, thank God, like thank God, like I can just give up, like because the problem is because I have had limerent thoughts towards a parasocial relationship, I still feel like it's possible. And I haven't been shut down and I haven't been told no. And I have almost like been encouraged a little bit, like just for the attention. Like I get why. I mean, you want to have a lively discussion when you're on stream and things like that. Um, so like I get why he didn't like shut me down in public or whatever, but it'd be great if he could message me here and just be like, go away. Because if I should if he wants me to go away, I'll go away and I will completely just shut all that down. But until I know one way or the other how he feels, it's hard for me to shut it down completely. And that's the danger of the parasocial aspect of it is that when the parasocial aspect is involved, I don't feel like I'm as crazy as I would be if I was like mooning over, I don't know, Harry Styles or somebody, like I would know that that would be impossible versus not knowing now makes me feel like it's possible and it leaves me in this limbo. And obviously, I'm especially in the limbo because of um, my lack of luck. It's my lack of luck in love and because of just the complete emptiness of my love life, despite the fact that I've been working at it. I've been trying. Um, yeah, and it's been hard not to give up, but I'm gonna keep at it because it's an aspect of my life that I do want to change, and it's not in my control, which makes me obsess over it, makes me worried that I can't change it. But at the same time, I just wanted to acknowledge that this is a factor. This is a factor in my romantic life that I've been carving out a space for potential with someone who may or may not know I exist. I mean, he knows me he knows me from my handle on YouTube. He knows at least that I am a person out there, but I am a line of text. Until now, oops, sorry, cat. I am a line of text until now. So, hi, hi, Joel. You should talk to me if you're interested. If you're not, tell me, please. I would like to know. Um, but I just want everyone to know that limerence is limerence can be worked through. Um, it used to be worse for me. I used to be kind of a little more unhealthy about it. I didn't use it use it to make any actions happen. I didn't travel anywhere or like look somebody up. I didn't do any of that. But um, it did take a lot more of my time. It used to take a lot more of my time than it does now. And I have really worked on that to fill my life with other things so that the obsession isn't as strong and isn't as crazy, you know. But you know, if it happens to you, if you end up being a limerent person, just recognize that it's a fever that will pass. It won't always be as strong as it is right now, and if you give it yourself a healthy dose of reality regularly, it will cool it down a bit. Again, because my limerence was parasocial, I had a really hard time cooling it down because I didn't get a rejection and a I didn't get a yes or no, but that's just one of my excuses. It's just an excuse to let it keep festering in my mind, like let it keep taking up time and mental energy. So I guess I'm being a little selfish by kind of calling out who I'm talking about and asking him to reject me. But it would be really kind of him, and I know he's a kind guy. Um, and I know that at least. It would be really nice if he wasn't interested that I could know. Um, but I just wanted to put myself out there, and I just wanted to validate people who have had this kind of situation. Again, I won't call it a relationship because it's not a relationship. It's a relationship involves more than one person. And if I'm just spending all my mind's energy with this person who I'm imagining to be a certain way, it's not a relationship. Of course, I would like it to be a relationship, but that's what all of us think who are in limerent situations. But I just wanted to validate everybody who has experienced this that it's tough. Please talk to somebody about it. I don't know where I would be without my therapist. They are super grounding. Um, and don't act on it. My God, don't act on it because you just don't know anything about it. And even though that's the maddening part, it's worth acknowledging that that's the reality. So I just wanted to put that out there. And thanks for sticking around and learning a little bit about that. You've been ambered.